the season, Manchester City versus Liverpool. This is Saturday 12:30 game. It is on Sky because they picked it as a 5:30 game, as far as I know, but then they had to bring it forward due to police. Man City 176 favourites, Liverpool 4.7. The draw is 4.5. As you've seen throughout the Premier League, both teams to score heavily favoured. Yes, 158. Asian handicap line sees Liverpool get a 3/4 of a goal head start at above even money, and the goal line here is 3.5. So, Adrian, we'll kick off with you in this game. It's nice to see a title game not involving ourselves, so we can relax a little bit. But City Liverpool, it's a massive game for both clubs, isn't it?
It's worse than the top two, so it's the biggest game of the season so far. Obviously, Arsenal City was a biggie, but this feels maybe even more important. I mean, both teams are on incredible runs, aren't they? In different ways. Obviously, I know that City have slipped up of late, but at home, Manchester City 23 straight wins in all competitions. I mean, it's absolutely amazing. A win here will equal the British record, I think, set by Sunderland in the 1890s. So, they've done something very, very special on their own patch. But Liverpool have had some good results against them, haven't they, in recent times? And Liverpool themselves have lost one of their last 23 Premier League games, and that one was the controversial defeat at Spurs, which really shouldn't have been a defeat. So you don't sort of want to back against either side here, really, do you? But I will. And my inkling is that Manchester City have the stronger side, and that home. I just can't go against that home record, if I'm honest, Daniel. I think that it's so imperious. They're so consistent. And Liverpool away from home, despite picking up good results, have struggled at times, haven't they? I think they've trailed in each of their last 5 away games. They're not what you describe as super solid yet, are they? I think that Van Dijk is having a great season, but that defence, I think, is still questionable up against elite opposition. The makeup of the midfield will be fascinating. In the last game Liverpool played, they had Gakpo and Szoboszlai either side of Indo. If they go in with a midfield like that at the Etihad, it'd be very attacking, but I fear that they might get overran. So yeah, it'd be a fascinating game tactically. Van Dijk against Haaland is a great duel, isn't it? Incidentally, Van Dijk's never been beaten by a team when he's played against Erling Haaland. Only met 5 times. I've done a bit of research on this for a piece I've written. 5 meetings, 4 wins for Van Dijk, and 1 draw. So that bodes well for Liverpool. But I'm going to go against them. I'm going to go with Manchester City to win and both teams to score. I think that both teams to score seems to be almost nailed on with Liverpool away games. I mean, it's happened in every single one this season. And going back quite a while, they've been involved in a lot of high-scoring away games. You'd always back Liverpool to score. I think that they'll target the left-back area for sure. Guardiola or Ake, I think a lot of goals have been conceded down that side. They're a little bit vulnerable, City, to counters and direct attacks, longer passes. I think that Liverpool will look to utilise the pace of Salah in this game. So I think Liverpool will have that threat, but I don't see Manchester City failing to score a couple of goals here. I just think that up against a team that's got very attacking midfield, that aren't that solid away from home, I think that they can come out on top Manchester City in quite an exciting match. So that's the way I'm heading with this one.
Love that Haaland Van Dijk stat. I can see that in pubs across the country sitting down and people impressing their friends. Van Dijk's won 4 of the 5 games against Haaland, and everyone's like, what? So, no, I love it, Adrian. So that's a 298 selection. City and both teams to score. Mark, where are you at in terms of a bet here?
Yeah, very excited to have the Premier League back, and obviously this match is a blockbuster, but just disappointed by the timing of the game to come immediately after an international break and be the early kickoff as well. We know Jurgen Klopp has made a big fuss about this particular time slot in the past. It's the 3rd time it's occurred this season. We've only had 3 international breaks, and Liverpool's performances in those previous 2 against Wolves and Everton have been pretty ordinary, even if they have managed to get the points. So I think it's understandable. And I think if you look at the players involved in international duty, you've got 4 Liverpool players who've been in South America involved in, high magnitude matches on Tuesday night. Alisson, McAllister, Darwin and Luis Diaz. None of those will be back in Merseyside before Wednesday night at the earliest. So it's a very quick turnaround. In contrast, Julian Alvarez was the only City player in South America on Tuesday night. So there's an advantage there for City. And I think there's also an advantage for City in the fact that they pulled out so many players from international duty with knocks, niggles, muscle strains, whatever the excuses were. From my research, all I can see is looks nailed on that De Bruyne and Kovacic are the certainties to miss out for Man City. There's question marks over Stones, but basically everyone else should be okay. So there's advantage there again. Obviously, the home advantage, which Adrian has alluded to as well, about the Etihad being such a fortress. In terms of both teams this season, I think there's similarities, actually. They've both been getting good results, generating quite positive momentum without really coming close to top gear consistently. And, Liverpool have been a winning machine at Anfield, but also unconvincing at times on their travels. They're still without a clean sheet away from home. Failed to win at Brighton when playing well. Failed to win at Chelsea on the opening weekend when he felt that could have been a good opportunity for them. Beaten at Spurs, obviously, in that match. And sort of heading to defeat at Newcastle as well before that electric final, sort of 20 minutes from Darwin. So I looked at their record since the start of last season. It's 9 defeats and 25 away Premier League days, giving up 1.52 goals per game on average. It's not great. That needs to be arrested if they are going to challenge City and possibly usurp them in the title race. But in terms of a betting view, difficult to really disagree with where the market is at right now. I think if you took underlying performance data and sort of spat out prices based on what we've seen so far this season, perhaps City would be very slightly too short. But I just think with the conditioning, the timing of the fixture, the home advantage as well, and the levels that we know City can get to, especially at the Etihad, you have to favour City in this environment. And they're just a more settled, consistent unit right now compared to where Liverpool are at. They're coming into the campaign. We still are in November, and they're rebuilding that midfield, whereas Man City are pretty well. We know they're starting 11 pretty much already. So, my selection here is Man City to win and under 4.5 goals. I put it in at 2.4. It's 2.44 right now on Matchbook Exchange. I think that's a really nice and decent leap in price. Despite all the sort of extraordinary goal-scoring talent on both sides, I'm not convinced this game escalates into the shootout that perhaps we hope it will be. We've seen City's matches against Newcastle and Arsenal fall well below sort of pre-match kind of excitement expectations. And this fixture has got a tendency to produce goals, but I think it's still quite a big leap to expect there to be 5 goals or more in this fixture. It's a high magnitude match. There's a huge amount on the line. I'm not saying both teams take a must not lose attitude, but I think there will be a heavy respect, as there always is from the two coaches, compared with the strengths of both sides too. So I do back City to win, but I just think that price leap from around 175 to 2.44 is enough to get me interested, actually. You've got the 1-0, 2-0, 3-0, 4-0, 2-1 and 3-1 on side. And if City are going to win this game, those look the most likely correct scores. I'd be surprised if City scored 5, but also if City are going to win, it's unlikely Liverpool score at least twice. So yeah, I think that kind of covers you in case it is one of these kind of tentative low-scoring fixtures, which we've seen City being involved with this season, but also if things do escalate a bit further as well.